Power Court has finally got the green light. The tick, crack on, build the stadium and get the football into Power Court. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at what the current site looks like, why it's taken this long, and where we go from here. I know there's lots of comments out there. I'm not getting excited until I'm in my seat and watching football from Power Court. Fully understandable. Lots of generations, 50, 60, 70 plus years. I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments when you first heard about a new stadium being built, but it's been a long time coming and finally we're starting to see the end of that tunnel. Let's get into the video, and if you are liking it, please make sure you hit the like button. I want to try and hit 100 likes in today's video, and please smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers and we constantly do these updates. So let's get into the video.
So the decision is that the application, the 2020 application for the football stadium and associated development, planning permission has been granted.
So in short, yes, that's it. There's no more applications should be needed to go to the committee, and the stadium has been approved subject to some technical and legal stuff which will be sorted behind the scenes. The long answer is that there's no more big meetings that the committee are needed to approve things. There's still quite a bit of technical stuff to go through, but it's been approved and the committee has delegated all the powers to the planning application officers to be able to sort out the small hurdles and the fine details behind the scenes. The alignment of the River Lee, which is being overlaid on the screen right now, is yet to be approved and still working with the environment agencies to close it out. The planning application back in 2020 was originally approved to move it next to the road, but 4 years have passed now and needs altering. They mentioned previous plans was to have it quite low to the road, which meant they'd have to put lots of barriers, and it was quite a steep bank, which wouldn't have been very fan friendly with the mass amount of people. Not only that, the stadium was also facing west to east, meaning that there was more space as well. There's also a few things that the club still need to address with the stadium application. The lead local flood authority had some issues, and also the section 106 legal agreement will need to be signed and closed before they can start building the stadium as well. Now, basically what the 106 legal agreement is a contract between the council and the developer outlining all the measures that they need to take in order to reduce the impact of development on the local community. And like I said before, most of these will be ironed out by the planning officers as well as 2020 quite quickly and as it goes. I'm sure there's still things that can be done as the build happens, but the 106 legal agreement is the big thing that needs to be signed off very quickly in order for them to start build the stadium. Now, why has it taken so long? Now, we do know back in 2016, and most generations, as I say in the comments, can probably tell me that 70 plus years ago they were looking for a stadium. Then before that, then after that, and etc. When I was growing up as a youngster, it was talks about Junction 12 having a plot there. Then there was Junction 10 as well, having the stadium there, but was too far away from Luton, or it was not close enough to the station and various other things. So over the years, trying to find the perfect place, and I think Power Court is just that, so it's almost the perfect timing. However, as of recent, once they acquired Power Court and Newlands Park, they have submitted several applications. 2016, they submitted an application for a new stadium to be built at Power Court. They also submitted one in 2020 as well. Now, for most of you that may be aware or may not be aware, planning applications last for 3 years. If you act on that within 3 years and start building, then it's good for life. But if you don't, then the application will run out and you have to reapply, which is exactly what's happened in the case for Luton Town on these 2 occasions. Now, you may ask why, if they've gone to all this effort. Now, back in 2016, we'd all know that Luton was entering our 3rd year in League 2. After finishing 11th in the previous campaign, the club submitted an application back then in League 2 for a new stadium. Between the years of 2016 and 2019, Luton went from League 2 to the Championship in real quick succession. We come second in the League 2, straight won League 1, and then we're in the Championship all of a sudden. So that would have put a spanner in the works for 2020 development to obviously build a stadium, because all the requirements back then would have been for us to have a stadium adequate for League 1 Championship and scope to move it up and build for better things. However, obviously the quick succession of moving up and bringing in more popularity, stuff like that, again, then they've obviously gone back to the drawing board and left that planning application. What they would have also looked at is stuff like retail, food. They could have looked at the hotel, music venues and stuff like that, which is exactly what happened in 2020 when Luton submitted another application, which was talks about having a music venue under the stand, as well as various other things around. The stadium still was quite boxy, as you can see overlaid. Room to the left and to the right of the stadium to house housing and car parks and stuff like that. It looked okay. It didn't look brilliant, adequate for what Luton needed in the Championship. Unfortunately, straight after, Luton and the world went into COVID and lockdown. And that then put a massive pressure on the retail side of things, as well as the food and beverage. So all of these plans that Luton had for Newlands Park, which was going to fund the stadium, they had to scrap. They end up selling the site to fund the rest of the COVID times. And it sort of put us back quite a few paces, and then they went back to the drawing board once again. But for anyone that probably remembers, the biggest factor to why Luton didn't build anything at Newlands Park and Junction 10 was Capital Regional. They were massive against Luton Town development over there. Capital Regional own the mall, the Arndale Centre as it's called, right by Luton Town Stadium. Lots online reports saying Luton fans declare war against the shopping centre, where there's some strong claims, and I'll just read a couple of the claims now. So the Capital Regional Ken Ford said, as a town centre, use a football stadium is not necessarily appropriate. The reality is these are big buildings that are fundamentally used perhaps 4, 5, 6 hours a week, as opposed to the other hours of the week where they'll necessarily lie fallow. Another claim says football stadiums don't actually contribute too much to the economic vitality of the town centre. Another claim says clearly it looks like we're odds with the portion of the community. Less than 10,000 of a catchment of over 200,000. So yeah, there are strong claims for the Capital Regional bosses against Luton Town building Newlands and a stadium right in the heart of the centre. Not only that, obviously the retail, and after COVID, a lot of people now working from home. So yeah, it probably would have been a waste of money necessarily, and we wouldn't have got the full income that we had originally expected pre-COVID. And sure enough, since then, they've been planning and trying to work out. And Luton, they went on a bit of form. They finished 19th, escaped relegation. Then they finished 12th, then 6th, and then 3rd. And then they got promoted to the Premier League. So in them 4 years, they've gone from being this League 2 Championship side, not sure whether we're going up or down, to all of a sudden in the Premier League, where it's now opened the field to so many new investors, so many new developers, architects, money, and the experience they've had for the last 10 years of designing these stadiums has all come into working out this perfect design. And I think we all can agree that it is a very, very nice design, and the architects have done a fantastic job with the new stadium. It's going to look amazing when it's done. And not only that, because we've gone up a league as well to the Premier League, we have come back down since, but at the time, they went, right, let's go for 25,000 straight off the bat. Let's skip all of the other stages, straight to 25,000 and build everything we can now, so it's then future-proofed for years to come. What does this now mean for Luton Town and the Stadium and Power Court? So 2020 development turned around and said that their completion aim is 2027. He said once everything's approved, they'll look to start in the new year, and then 2 years completion. So 2027 is their hope. Now, as we all have seen from either Everton Stadium or Newlands Park, where they've just built that massive, great big warehouse, once the groundworks is done, it goes up very, very quickly. So, as I've said in the beginning of the video, the River Lee needs to be adjusted and approved. That is still going straight through the middle at the moment. Until that is approved, can't really do much in the middle and get that through. And of course, the 106 legal document needs to be signed as well and taken off. I imagine come January, we will see a lot more activity going on there, a lot more groundworks potentially. The substation is pretty much done now, which is being overlaid. You can see quite a lot of work is still being done. You can also see the outline right now of the stadium, as well as the pitch, which I said in my previous videos as well. And thanks to Luton Airport, I will be keeping up a lot more regularly hopefully as it starts to build quicker, and you'll see a lot more videos and updates of this. But at the time being, there hasn't been too many updates to show you visually. So as time moves on, we will start to show you a lot more. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have liked it, please make sure you smash that like button, hit the sub, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday at Derby. And also a massive shout out to the wandering northerner who has provided today's drone footage, because unfortunately I was unable to get down due to family issues over the weekend, and he's kindly given me authorization to use his drone footage for the weekend.